Welcome to the conclusion of the Pokemon Black No Experience run. Last time, we defeated the true leader of Team Plasma, Dennis. Ghetsis, but let's just not kid ourselves. I like to think that his real name actually is Dennis, and he just really doesn't like it when people bring that up. He was always like, my name is Ghetsis! Don't call me Dennis, whatever you do! Anyway, it always just seemed kind of funny to think of him like that. But anyway, we had defeated him, and he is going to go into his natural villain denial. And hi, Manfred von Karma, fancy seeing you here. I haven't seen you in a while. Yeah, with how often he says the word perfect and perfection, you'd really think he was Manfred von Karma. But anyway, and they're completely ignoring him. Oh, yeah. Do you really think that Pokemon and humans should be separated if, that's what that guy wanted? Yes, because he couldn't become a legendary hero, he became a legendary villain. And legendary he was, really. Oh, and that line, seriously. If that line alone is not enough to qualify Ghetsis for complete monster status, like, honestly, really. And yes, even Cheren admits it. Yes, it's official, you suck, Dennis. But they do have a point here that N really did believe in what he thought. He actually did, really did want humans to be kind to Pokemon, and he really did want to free them from abuse. And of course, now he's getting a little depressed. But yeah, the Legendary did choose him. And once again, pretty much the overall moral of this game. And again, I really sympathise with this, I really do. A whole lot of people on internet forums could really learn about this. And anyway, hopefully, we won't be seeing Dennis for a while. And now plays a certain music track known simply as N's Farewell. Yeah, this is pretty amazing, and I've heard some people say it's similar to a certain track from Mother 3. I've never actually played Mother 3, so I can't actually tell, but apparently they had the same composer or something, the two games, I don't know. But, anyway, oh and yes, and finally we get to hear what our Pokemon was saying at the very beginning of this game. The Pokemon that we now left in the PC for all eternity, because it was too low level for our purposes. Damn it, N! Way to make me feel like a total bastard! Anyway, N gives a final assessment here, and ever since then, he's sort of been conflicted. It's sort of sad, really. N really was the secondary hero of the story. But anyway, speaking of this music, I'd just like to take this time to point out, there is an official remix of N's Farewell on the official Black and White soundtrack album. If you're allergic to feels, do not under any circumstances listen to it. You will die. Multiple times. But anyway, this is a pretty emotional moment, though I do personally prefer X and Y's ending. The only reason being that this one is just so short. Like, honestly, it's almost... You'll see, even the video itself is really short. And Zekrom. And hey, with Zekrom on that background there, it's like you got Black and White in one. Well, my dream was to be able to beat this game without experience, and I already did it, so... What does that mean? But anyway... And with that, cue the most epic credits music ever composed by man. These credits are amazing. This music could have very easily been a final boss theme. Honestly, I love this credits theme so much. It's seriously, oh, so awesome. So awesome. But anyway, that's it. That's the end. And like I said, having played X and Y, the reason why I prefer X and Y's ending is, again, this one was just really short, and yeah, quite short, and you didn't even really get a Hall of Fame or anything like that, And you'd think people would acknowledge you for defeating Team Plasma and saving the world, but no, it wasn't until X and Y that happened. But anyway, oh, by music. This game had some pretty amazing music, I will say, so props to all of you. Now, I guess now I should point out my final thoughts on the game itself. I still maintain that Black and White are probably, for purely a single-player standpoint, the best games in the series. And I still think that single-player-wise, they are much better than X and Y, having played both of them recently. However, honestly, I definitely like Generation 6 as a generation a lot more than I do Generation 5. And we can see Zekrom here. Anyway, Generation 5 as a generation as a whole, even though it had some of the best games, the generation itself was, okay, my emulator's kind of glitching out the graphics a bit there, but don't mind that. Something was just, I don't know, either it just ended too soon, or maybe it was just that I never really liked Gen 5 competitive. It was just, oh boy, really glitching out. Sorry about this, but you can still read the names just fine. Anyway, I never really liked 5th Gen competitive, not much. It just never really... I played online in Black and White a little bit, it just never really felt fun to me. Whereas X and Y online, that did feel fun. Like, honestly, it did. I really am loving X and Y online. Then again, they're actually discouraging rage quitting this time. Seriously, all those rage quitters in Black and White's Wi-Fi made me outright rage quit Wi-Fi in general. I just never played again after a while. It was just too many rage quitters. But anyway, see, the credits, another complaint. Those credits were over way too quickly. That music was far too awesome to be over that quickly, seriously. Oh, seriously, that music is just amazing. And you autosave here. So, that's it. That's the end. The end of Pokemon Black version. Or is it? Oh, and boy do I miss You know what's weird? This is the only time I've ever done an actual save in this whole game. It really is. The only time I've done an actual save. I've pretty much been using save states all the rest of the time, so yeah, that's kind of weird. So, yeah, oh, and I was about to say that I really miss X and Y's almost instantaneous save times. Wow. Yeah, 4th and 5th gen were not the best when it came to saving times, believe me. Ugh. But anyway, I guess I should give my final thoughts. This has been a very interesting project, and I'm really annoyed that this kind of challenge is less frequently done. Like, pretty much when you think Pokemon's self-imposed challenges, the first thing you think is Nuzlocke, and basically everyone does Nuzlocke. It's as if Nuzlocke is the only kind of self-imposed challenge people even know. And for that reason, I was immediately turned off on doing one. And like I've mentioned before, I dislike Nuzlockes in general because they are very heavily luck reliant. If you lose a good team member to a fluke critical hit or any other ridiculous feat of luck, then you can end up getting totally screwed. So, yeah, I've never really been a fan of Nuzlockes, and unfortunately, it's just something that most people seem to like. This, on the other hand, the thing is, there have been people who've done this before, but most of them have only recorded the actual gym leader battles and the Elite Four and the like. I'm okay, I don't want to speak too soon, but I get the feeling I'm actually the first one to have recorded the entire game under a no experience challenge. And I just honestly hope that some people find this interesting, and I hope I encourage more people to do this. Just a warning, watch out for Clay and Caitlyn, believe me. Yes, the very end is actually quite hard. Overall, this challenge is, well, interesting. Some of the gym leaders are incredibly difficult, some of them are really easy, like Skylar and kind of Berg as well. But overall, it's a fairly reasonable difficulty curve, harder than the game normally is, but not too excessively hard. And then you come to the Elite Four and what comes afterward, and they are roughly, basically, there the difficulty spikes like an absolute mountain, and, yeah, they're about 10 times harder than everything beforehand. So that's about the place where things start getting really tough. Oh boy, am I glad though that, like, I've actually heard of people doing no experience hacks of things like Heart Gold and Soul Silver and some of the earlier games. I might actually like to do Heart Gold and Soul Silver no experience. That'd be interesting. Oh boy, I would love to do X and Y no experience, because seriously, that game just felt a little too easy for my liking, but I have the feeling that no experience would actually make the gym leaders a threat. And you know what? I'd love that, because the X and Y gym leaders deserve more love. They really do. But I don't think I'll be able to get a chance to do that, because 3DSs can't really be hacked. Oh well, wishful thinking, I guess. But I guess Heart Gold and Soul Silver would be interesting. I am probably sure as hell not doing Diamond and Pearl no experience. One, I really don't care for those games very much. They are my personal least favourites in the series. And two, Cynthia no experience. Yeah. She's like level 66 or something like that. And, the highest you can catch beforehand is no higher than 50, I'd assume. That is terrifying. Very terrifying. I mean, Cynthia is probably the hardest champion in the series, even on a normal run, so yikes. But speaking of the future, what does the future hold? Well, Pokemon Black and White 2 definitely do have this same anti-piracy measure installed into them. So, I could, theoretically, do the sequel. Pokemon Pirated Black 2, Revenge of the Dennis. Sounds interesting. And I'd probably be doing it on Challenge Mode too. I just have to find a save file that has Challenge Mode already unlocked. But, yeah, now about that, for the most part, I don't really foresee that much difficulty. Well, not much more than this particular one, even on Challenge Mode, except for the first gym. Cheren? Okay, Cheren is going to take a lot of good luck, and a lot of planning, a lot of good strategy, but most importantly, a lot of luck, because seriously, Cheren on Challenge Mode, no experience, is going to be downright ridiculous. It has been done. I've seen it been done before. He is very difficult, and his AI really needs to cooperate. You have to be sure that he does not use Bulk Up any more than about once. And that's quite a big ask. The real thing about that is that Cheren, well, his highest is level 14. He has 3 Pokemon, and the highest level you can catch before Cheren is 7. Yep, he's double your level, and there's nothing you can do about it. Really, the only thing you can hope to do is fill your entire party with level 7 Riolus and just spam counter and hope for the best. That is pretty much the only way I can think of actually beating Cheren, and it's going to take a lot of cooperation from his AI, I can tell you that. So, that's going to be a problem. After Cheren is down, though, I get the feeling that Roxy is going to be downright pathetic. And I mean really, really pathetic. I mean, she's pathetic even on a normal challenge, so I really shouldn't worry too much about her. Though if I decide to do a no Magnemite run of her, that could be interesting. I may actually have to do that, because Magnemite completely trivializes that fight, so yeah. But anyway, that sounds roughly quite interesting. It sounds kind of fun. So, yeah, depends on whether I get to that soon or whether I get to any other projects. But speaking of this project, I did have a lot of fun with this, even though it didn't really get all that much views. I guess this is more of a niche, market, the whole, See, not many people know about this kind of challenge, so it's kind of annoying. I really wish more people did know about this, because it is a legitimate challenge to the game. It really is. If you're looking to test your skills in a new way, then by all means, do this. I really can't recommend it enough. So, yes, now the other thing interesting about this challenge is that, of course, you generally don't use Pokemon for too long. You have to constantly keep rotating out of your team. On the bad side, yeah, it means that you don't really form that much of a bond with your Pokemon because you don't really use them for that long. It's pretty much the complete opposite way of how I play these games. You might have noticed that if you've watched my X-Blind run, you'll realize that my normal playstyle involves picking 6 Pokemon to begin with and only using those exclusively throughout the whole game, never changing up the team. That's just how I do things. This was basically the exact opposite, but it gave me a chance to try something new. And the other interesting thing, though, let's look on the positive side. Instead of just one team of 6, every single Pokemon I caught, for the most part, some of them didn't do anything, but most of the things I caught, let's just say, contributed to the effort, and all of them were heroes. So, in fact, I think this deserves a tribute. I will leave you on one final tribute for this entire playthrough. Here is a tribute to all the brave Pokemon who fought with us. Those through whose effort this run was possible. You are all heroes. And it also gives me a chance to use the epic credits music again. So, I'll leave you off with this final tribute. And I guess, until the next thing I do, I'll see you around, I guess. Psych! Yeah, I did forget one thing, and I gotta mention this right now. Yes, I do completely intend to do the post-game. The main reason being, I made a deal that the Pirate Curse would be broken only once I became Pokemon League Champion. Technically, I didn't become Pokemon League Champion. I hadn't actually beat Alder, so I need to actually beat him, technically, before I claim the title of Champion. So that's what I'm gonna do. Yes, you can fight Alder, and yes, he is a post-game opponent this time. But getting to him requires defeating the Elite Four once again. This time, though, they're not holding back. They're going to use full teams, much higher levels than before, and with whole new Pokemon as well. But before them, we can recruit some new allies. A mysterious, fiery, broken moth lives in the ancient ruins. A mysterious, frozen, not quite so broken as Game Freak hoped dragon lives in a cave. And one of the 7 sages. Did Berg's puns murder them? No, I think they're still out there somewhere. But we need help from the authorities to track them down. Just what happened to all those stat buffs I was talking about you receiving in the post-game? All of these questions will be answered eventually on the Pokemon Black No Experience Run, the post-game.